Well, hey YouTube, welcome back my friends once again to Whiskey 3 Charlie Tango, W3CT, your good old friend Jack. Back up here once again, as you can see, in the Jack Shack on the Jack table. And this is going to be a continuation of this build that we started a few weeks ago before I went on vacation. And this is the 9-to-1 Unun, the very budget-friendly, low-cost 9-to-1 Unun that you can build yourself, okay? The one comment I had from a gentleman right after the other video came out was, do you wind these wires one at a time or all together? Okay, you could probably do it one at a time, but I truly find that when you wire them all together, it makes it a lot easier to get them through as far as staying in order, okay? Because you can see all along here, yellow, green, blue, yellow, green, blue, yellow, green, blue, and it stays very, very consistent if you wire them all together, okay? Again, this is the drawing I'm using. If you want to take a snapshot of this, I'm trying to hold up to the camera here for a second so you can take a screen grab of the wiring diagram. Okay. All right. So I have my parts laid out here that I'm thinking of using. And I got the soldering iron going. It's heating up. Yep, it's good. It's ready to go. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the B1, okay, this is B1 on top, to A2, and this is considered to be A2 down here. Okay, now the way they did these is the wires are actually laid out. Remember, yellow, actually here, let me move this around. Yellow, green, come on Jack, get the wire up there, and blue. All right, so the way they're laying these out is the tops are ones and the bottoms are twos. Okay, so you got A1, B1, and C1. Then on the bottom you have A2, B2, and C2 is the, I'm sorry, switch that green one around. It should be this way. But anyway, you get the idea. So what we need to do first of all is I'm going to move these out of the way. And we're going to take the green, B2 green, and we're going to solder it to A2 yellow is what we're going to do here. So let me think how I'm going to put this together. Let me see here. We're just going to cut it off right about. I don't want to make these too long. I don't want to make it too short. All right, right about there. Okay, got that one off. So that's, again, that's the green one on the top. And it's going to the yellow one here, okay, A2. Trying to make sure you guys can see that, okay. And let's cut just a little piece of that off also. All right. This is not 16 gauge wire anyway, guys. It's 18 gauge wire. All right. Now what I like to do with these, I don't know if I'll be able to do this or not, it's pretty short, is I'm going to take a piece of my heat shrink. All right. Heat shrink tubing. I showed you guys this big assortment I bought. I'll never use all this in my lifetime, that's for sure. But anyway, let's just make it. Let's make one of these green ones on there. That'll work. And yes, a lot of you said, Jack, you should buy the glued heat shrink. So I did. I have that in the garage too. So I use that for any outdoor stuff. This is good for indoor stuff. All right. So what I want to do here is I'll cut some of this off. I don't need that much. Usually use more than okay. Anyway, there we go. Okay. Take these wires. All you got to do, you can twist these together. I like to twist them this way. Before you do, put your heat shrink on there. If not, you won't get it on afterwards. And as you can see, that's too long. What I mean by that is the solder will hit it, so it's too long. Okay, I don't need much heat shrink. There we go. Okay, put these together. I'm going to just twist them. The reason is I don't want to roll them together. We're going to twist these together best we can here. Okay, so I always keep a pair of needle nose pliers around, Jack. Okay. Again, guys, remember this is an experiment. I have no idea if this is going to even work out as a great Unun. I just wanted something lightweight that I could throw in a bag and tote along with me. That's my idea anyway. All right. I don't think that heat shrink's going to go up there. I've been extremely sick for the past week. So I've been really under the weather. If I don't get better by tomorrow, I'm going to the doctor's on Monday. Yeah, the chance of this heat shrink coming over there, I might get it. We'll see. If not, that's all right. Anyway, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to actually throw some solder on there. Just a little bit. Where'd the solder go, Jack? Where did the roll of solder go? I just had it here. Anybody see it on my table? You're like, it's right there, Jack. Oh, there. Right there. Yeah, you're right. Okay. A little bit of flux. Okay, wonderful. Solder's on. But the only problem when you're soldering around heat shrink, I think I melted the heat shrink actually at the top here. Look. So it's not going to go under anyway. Well, isn't that a crock of crap, Jack? Why'd you do that? Because the heat melted the heat shrink. But anyway, I told you guys I'm very transparent. This is all experimentation. So what I think I might do here is, I really don't know what to do. Bend this down a little bit maybe. Put a piece of tape on there. Can't hurt it. There's some tape on there. Okay, good. Let's look now. What's the next connections we got to worry about? The next connections we got to worry about is C2, which is the blue, okay? This wire here, this yellow wire, is going to go, this goes to your antenna, okay? So your antenna wire, which this is for a random wire anyway, so, but anyway. All right, I really want that to come back. It's going to actually come back around that twist tie, and it's going to come this way. For when I tape this thing up and make this a small Unun. I think that'd look perfect, right? Okay, but first I got to worry about is the blue wire is going to ground down here, okay? This green wire now, the green wire has to tap into this blue wire here, okay? So the green wire is going to tap right into that blue wire, and this is going to, I'll be using a BNC connector, okay? That's my idea. So, please don't beat me up in the comments below. Oh, it's just another ham doing a video and drinking coffee. Well, it's early in the morning. I like coffee. I can't help it. I'm sorry. I'm not apologizing for that. Okay, anyway, guys, we're going to strip some of this off right here. I think that's what we're going to do. And then we'll tap it with this green wire. Let's do that. Okay, remember it's 18 gauge. Let's grab it right there. Pull some of this out of the way. That should work perfectly. Nah, that's not enough, Jack. Let's get a little bit more. Okay. So if you see here, I just pulled up on that a little bit. We're going to take the green wire now. We're going to tap into that, okay? So what do you mean by that, Jack? Well, what I mean by that is just take this. We're going to strip this off right here. Should be perfect. And we'll just tap it right there. Again, I'm just going to roll the wire around there. I'm going to solder it anyway. Okay. Get my needle nose pliers out because it's just the way I roll. Roll this around here. Tighten it up. Come on, Jack. All right. So now we have our center of our coax, or center of our connector for the coax, the BNC connector. Down here we have a wire for the ground, so we'll look at that and see what we're going to do with that. Okay, so that goes on the outside of your BNC connector or your SO239. They all come with something like this. That's what the ground wire goes on. The inside obviously goes into there. Okay. I still have no idea what this is going to look like yet, but we'll just keep playing around here. Okay, let me go ahead. I'm going to solder that up. Just solder this up right here. I keep looking at the bench thinking I got more projects than what I have, built. I got a lot of stuff here. Perfect. Now we got her soldered up. I'd recommend that if you're building antennas, guys, buy yourself a soldering kit. I think I linked this one before. I'll link it again in the description below. It was at the time maybe 20 bucks, but you get the soldering iron, you get solder, you get flux, you get a stand, and more tips than you're ever going to use. So, all right, again, a little piece of black tape on that, I think. Okay, Jack, remember you said little. Come on. I always say little, then I put too much on. I'm going to pull this back a little bit. Okay, so that's tapped. Ready to go. Okay. Good job there. Now, so if I just want to use, I don't know what I'm going to do here. Really with this, it's going to be very QRP. So if you're just using the coax side coming off of the coax as your counterpoise, I don't need to put another connector on here. And I think that's probably how I'm going to work this. If I see later it's a problem, I can always come back and put another connector in here for a counterpoise. But I think what we do is I'm going to put my BNC connector right here, and I'm going to take this wire and put that as the ground right there. So I think that's exactly what I want to work it. And then I told you I'm going to use an Anderson power pole for the antenna feed point for over here. So yeah, I think it's going to work fine. And again, that way I can make it as small as possible, because in the end what I want to do is, I don't have any heat shrink big enough to go over this. That would be the best bet. But what I'm going to do is, I have no idea how long this video is getting to be, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put tape over it. I'm just going to tape it. So remember, this is a very inexpensive 9-to-199. Okay, I advertise it that way, and I'm building it that way. Very inexpensive. So let's go ahead on this side and find out now. First thing we're going to do is, good or bad, I'm going to cut this off here. So I didn't leave myself too much ground wire. Cut this off. All right. You can always add wire. Yeah, right. Okay, sure. Sure, you're not going to do that. Okay, let's look at the connector there. I probably need about this much wire. Off right about there. Okay. To fit inside of here. Look at that. Perfect. Perfect. Went right in there. But to give myself a little bit more, I just want a little bit more area to solder to. All right, now check it out. Check this out, how tight this is. Look. Right there. Perfect. The insulation's hitting right on the bottom of it. I can solder right here. That's my plan anyway. You think by now I'll be like, Jack, have your helping hand out. That would be a good idea. Yeah. No, I didn't. But I am going to get some flux on there. Like I said, this kit comes with everything you need. Look, it even comes with all these extra tips. So it does not come with these flux brushes. I bought these at the local hardware store for about $1. So okay. There's going to be a problem here. Might need to add a piece of wire. I'll get there in a minute. I'll get there in a minute. I'm not worried about that right now. Because I don't think I'm going to have enough wire to get this ground wire over to this lug. I don't think it's going to reach. That's okay, though. I can add a little piece of wire and it's not going to hurt. I got plenty of extra pieces. So, you know, it's not going to make it as clean that way, but I think it'll be okay. I think it'll be just fine. All right, let's go. Let's solder this up. Put it in there that time. All right. Now this is the secret with flux. Flux will actually help it to clean the inside of the connector, and it will pull the solder in as it's soldering. So flux is a good thing. Look at that, huh? Can't beat that. That's a nice solder joint. I'm pretty proud of myself. Yep, I know. Jack, you're always too proud of yourself. Well, I am. That's okay. Yeah, this is not going to reach that ground lug. Nope, it will not. It will not, Jack. Dummy. Can I bend that down some and make it? I don't know. That might be a possibility. As we're scrunching this together. Ha-ha. So what I did was I scrunched this wire down on itself a little bit. You can see now where I have enough to get in there. Maybe. Oh yeah, I think I can get in there. I think I can make it. You guys ever feel a time when you're building something you feel like you're the mad scientist? You know? Thanks for hanging in there with me on this video. And I know this is a little bit lengthy, but I don't want you to miss any of this. All right, so now I'll fold this over. Oh, I didn't have to add any wire. Good job. Peachy. All right. It does make it look a lot cleaner. All right. Get some solder in here now. So I know, Jack, you got the helping hand thing. Why don't you use it? Well, yeah, because, you know, it's just kind of how I roll. Brush, 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 brush. Here's the brush. Flux, flux, flux. Okay. Hope you guys are seeing all this happening. Like I said, I have no idea how long this video is. I may edit it down a little bit. I'll go through it and cut out the boring parts. How about that? Because at times there's going to be boring parts. Tell me I didn't just melt that. I didn't. It's just tape. Okay. All right. Let's try to get this part of the connector soldered. You see all that smoke coming off of there? That was all the flux burning off. Let me see here if... Okay, so I got that soldered up. Get that back out of my way. Is everything still working here? Okay, so that's done. The last thing we got to do is figure out and how to put on we're going to put on our Anderson power pole down here. It's either going to be a really good idea or a really bad idea. But I am going to use red. Okay. I was going to do a video on these because when I first got these and somebody said, "Oh, Jack, you're so dumb. You don't know how to use power poles. I can't watch your antenna builds." Well, if you've never used something, and I am a teacher, and I teach every day, and the kids don't know something, I can't go, "You should know it because you're a human being." That's not true. So if you've never seen an Anderson power pole, I thought there used to be females and males, but technically they're both the same, okay? If there's a split in there, if you see that split, you put that split to the split, and that's how they go together, okay? But you can't know everything. That's not the way humans are born, okay? I like constructive criticism. I do. That's how I learn things, but I don't learn by people being rude and just being stupid. You know, don't do that. Matter of fact, I got this one that was built for me by a friend of mine. His name is Mike. He's from the club, and I wasn't sure how they go in there. Okay, how these go in. So I'm trying to eyeball this to see how this would go together, because I've never built one before, and I think it's like that actually. Kind of looks that way, I guess. I don't know. Well, if I screw it up, I screw it up. That's how you learn, right? All right. Pull this apart. I got some handy dandy brand new crimpers. Look at these babies, huh? They say you need crimpers. I just buy tools, so I like tools. Let's see. So, handy dandy crimpers. We'll see how they work. Look at that, huh? Those are nice, huh? Oh yeah. Remember Tim the Toolman Taylor? Be like, oh yeah, look at them crimpers. Anyway, so what we got to do is, should leave myself room for error, that's for sure. I know that you crimp these by watching, is it Callum? You crimp these with this side up. So, I'm not sure. Oh yeah, I see what he means. All right, sure, perfect, okay. So, let's go here on the yellow one, that's the feed line. And I'm going to leave this a little bit bigger because I'm going to screw it up. So why not? Okay. So some of that off. It goes into my power pole right here. It's probably too much. Again, sorry if I cough a little bit. I've been, like I said, extremely sick. Okay, super nice crimp, man. Those were worth the money. Now, how does this go in this thing here? No freaking idea. No idea. Maybe this way? Let's see. Okay, guys, so this is the final product that I came up with. So there's the BNC connector. This is for the antenna wire. Again, we're going to go from the ground, so the shield on your coax is going to become your counterpoise. Figured out the Anderson power pole, so thanks to Ham Radio Tube. Mike, good guy there. He has a lot of good videos up, and I'm sure a lot of other people have these on there, but they're not hard to use. And okay, so that's it, guys. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to roll some tape around here, try to spruce it up a little bit with some tape, keep everything snug. I might even actually fold this down right here. All right. Now, I don't know what this is going to look like, or hopefully it will be functional. Trust me, I have kit boxes. I just wanted to make this as small as I could. We'll take one more roll of tape over the other way. And I'm thinking, you guys are thinking the 2 jack, it's going to hold a lot of heat, but this is for extremely low wattage, guys. I'm sure I'll run it with the Zygu G90 to see how it works, but then all I'll do is I'll get a random wire length, probably, I don't know, 49 feet or whatever. And I'll put another Anderson power pole on it, and then whenever I'm going to use this, I'll just simply take them. Again, you just look for the breaks in these things, and we'll just stick them together. Just like so. Okay? So, put a coax on here, and I should be good to go. You could even probably put a connector on here, run it right into your radio. Probably wouldn't hurt anything. All right, guys. I'll record this for the test. This video got extremely long. It's almost an hour, so I'm going to do a lot of editing, cut this thing down a lot, and take out the boring parts. But yeah, it's built. There you go. That was my project. It's my plan. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll see in the field if we can make some contacts. All right. Guys, thank you for watching this video again. If you're not subscribed, why not? Hit that subscribe button. Give this video a big thumbs up. Thanks to all the subscribers out there already that's been subscribed. I truly appreciate you guys. And I know I'm not on camera right now, but I'm extremely sick, and I don't want you to see my face because I can't get my eyes to quit watering. But I knew I wanted to get this project done anyway. So take care, everybody. 73s. Hope to catch you guys on the airways. I will talk to you next time. Bye for now.